Good morning, my little grandchildren. How are you today? Did you wake up happy? Did you wake up well rested? I hope so, because we are beginning lesson number 15 today, all about the inner ear. Imagine what it would be like if you couldn't hear the sounds all around you. The birds chirping in your yard, and the words you hear right now would not register. Your world would be a world of silence, and life would be very different. Thankfully, God gave you ears to hear. Ears are the special part of your body that collects all the sounds around you so you can hear them. When you look at the ear on the side of your head, it doesn't appear to be that special. But your ears are amazing instruments able to capture sounds. Excuse me. Your ears are made up of 3 different sections that all work together to send messages about the sounds you hear to your brain. So let's use those ears and get ready to hear all about what makes them work. We're going to talk about the outer ear first. The outer ear is the part that you see on the side of your head. The scientific name for this part of the ear is the auricle. The auricle is a shell-shaped piece of cartilage that surrounds your ear canal. This auricle is mainly made of supporting cartilage covered in a thin layer of skin. The main job of your ear auricle is to gather sounds and funnel them into your ear canal. Your ear canal, which is also called the meatus, is the path that leads deeper into your head to the next part of your ear. The entire canal has hairs and glands that make earwax. Earwax, like mucus, protects the canal by capturing dirt and stopping germs that could cause infection from getting in your ear. The outer ear is separated from the middle ear by the eardrum and is also called the tympanic membrane. The eardrum is a thin piece of tissue that is stretched across the opening in the ear canal just like a drum. This thin piece of tissue vibrates when sounds hit against it, and those vibrations are then transferred into the middle ear. To hear well, the pressure against the eardrum needs to be the same on both sides. When you are driving in a car and you go up or down a big hill, sometimes your ears pop. This popping happens because you were going higher or lower in elevation. The pressure on one side of your eardrum was greater than it was on the other side. Your ear pops when that extra pressure is relieved by being channeled through a special tube called the eustachian tube. The eustachian tube connects your middle ear to the back of your nose. So when pressure builds up on the inside of the middle ear, that pressure releases the back of your nose. When your ears feel plugged, it can be because there is more pressure in your middle ear from the eustachian tubes being plugged. This makes it hard to hear anything. That's one reason why it is essential to have equal pressure on each side of your eardrum. Let's chat about the middle ear. The next section of your ear is your middle ear. Your middle ear is an air-filled cavity that takes the sound vibrations from the eardrum and delivers them to the inner ear. The vibrations move from your eardrum to 3 tiny bones called the ossicles. Each of these bones has a particular name. The first bone that is attached to the eardrum is called the malleus and is commonly called the hammer because it looks just like a hammer. Next comes the incus, commonly called the anvil. This bone is attached to the malleus at one end and then connects to the last bone called the stapes. The stapes is frequently called the stirrup because it looks just like a stirrup on a saddle. The stapes is the smallest bone in your body and connects to the inner ear at an area called the oval window. The oval window is the opening of the cochlea, which we will learn about in the inner ear. Have you ever had an ear infection? Ear infections can cause very painful earaches. Most ear infections happen in the middle ear, and they often occur after you have had a sore throat or a cold. The earache you feel is caused by increased pressure on your eardrum when liquid from the infection builds up in the middle ear. Sometimes, if an ear infection is really bad, it can cause your eardrum to rupture or break. When this happens, you can lose your ability to hear well in that ear. Thankfully, your eardrum does grow back, but it can take some time before you hear like you did before. Okay, inner ear. The vibrations that come from your middle ear get translated into a message that goes to your brain in the inner ear. There are two parts of the inner ear, the cochlea and the semicircular canals. The cochlea is a snail shell-shaped organ that takes the vibrations from your middle ear and changes them into a nerve signal or message. The message then travels to the brain on the cochlear nerve, which is the auditory or hearing nerve. The other part of your inner ear is your semicircular canals, and these look like three tiny connected tubes. The semicircular canals do not help you hear, but instead help you keep your balance when you are walking or standing. The system that your body uses to maintain your balance is called the vestibular system. The semicircular canals are part of that system. Each of these canals are lined with tiny hairs and filled with fluid. When your head moves, the fluid in the canals move around as well, pushing down on the hairs inside the canals in a specific direction. Because each semicircular canal is positioned in a different direction, each canal senses a different direction of movement. The hairs in that canal will send a message to your brain, and this information tells you which direction you are moving in. If you were falling over, the semicircular canals would sense this and send that information to your brain. Your brain would then send a message to your muscles to contract so you could catch yourself. If you spin around in a circle really fast for a long time, you will begin to feel dizzy. Sometimes, even after you stop spinning, you still feel dizzy even though you're not moving. When you spin, the fluid in your semicircular canals moves around, sending messages to your brain telling it you are spinning. When you stop spinning, that fluid continues to move for a little while, continuing to tell your brain you are spinning. When the fluid finally stops moving, then your dizziness will go away. That might be something for you guys to try. Stand in the middle of the floor, make sure it's safe, make sure there's nothing in the way that you're going to fall on, or do it outside. Spin really fast and see what happens. Make sure your mom or dad's around when you're doing that though, okay? The five senses. Hearing. Hearing your favorite song can bring you a lot of happiness, can't it? Let's follow your sense of hearing through the whole process. When you listen to your favorite song, your ear auricles funnel the sounds into your ear canal. At the end of your ear canal, your eardrum begins to vibrate as the sounds hit against it. Those vibrations move into your middle ear, vibrating the three small ossicle bones. When the vibrations reach the stapes, it transfers those vibrations into the cochlea of your inner ear. Inside the cochlea, those vibrations change into a message that goes to your brain, where your brain recognizes the tune of your favorite song. Your brain alerts you with a, "Hey, this is your favorite song." Then you smile and maybe even hum, sing, or dance along. Have you ever had a parent ask, "Are you listening to me?" Hearing and listening are two different things. Hearing is when the sound reaches your ears and your brain interprets what sound you are hearing. Listening is when you pay attention to the sound and then think about it afterward. When you listen to someone and ask questions about what they are saying, you know you are listening well because your brain is processing the information you hear and has questions that need to be answered so that you can understand it fully. When you are in a crowded room with a lot going on around you and your favorite song come on the radio during all that chaos, you might still be able to hear it because of something called selective hearing. Selective hearing is something people often talk about when a person appears only to hear the things they want to hear. Like when your mom asks you to clean your room and you don't hear it, but you do hear when she says that cookies are ready. Yeah, that happens a lot at your house, huh? Selective hearing has nothing to do with how a person hears, but instead how the brain prioritizes that sounds it hears. Wait a minute, let me repeat that. Selective hearing has nothing to do with how a person hears, but instead how the brain prioritizes the sounds it hears. Selective hearing is how your brain takes all the sound messages it receives and it interprets what is most essential, allowing the information to be noticed. Isn't it interesting how something so simple on the side of your head can be so important in allowing you to hear all that goes on around you? The next time you listen to a song that you enjoy, thank God for the gift of hearing. All right, my darlings, it's time to get to work in your notebooks. I'm sure that you have them all in front of you because you just can't wait. All right, this is Granny Patty signing off for Lesson 15. Moving on, be nice to each other. Hug your mom and dad all the time. They deserve it. Be good. Always be good. God bless you. I love you. See you soon. Bye-bye.